Here we are with a big dramatic scandal of teenage pregnancy. Society places a heavy burden and stigma on teenage moms and their families. Underage mothers are quickly labeled as irresponsible, reckless, and misinformed about contraception. And even worse, the community will blame the parents of this adolescent girl for not having educated her properly. When you consider that adults get pregnant by accident all the time, then why should it be a shock when teenagers get pregnant as well? Society just brainwashes us into believing that if you are a teenage mom, then you have lost the game of life. You barely started it, but you already lost. And all of this is absurd, to be honest, because what if the expecting teenager is in fact fulfilling her dream of being a mother? Perhaps she and her boyfriend are madly in love with each other, and maybe she has an extremely supportive group of people around her who are ready to welcome the baby with open arms and give it all the love it needs. So I think we need to slow down and rather than just pointing fingers as if anyone is better than anyone, we should instead be thinking that if we know someone in that situation, we should instead be supporting and helping them to be happy. And with these things in mind, I decided to make this video to explain that if the biological role of the woman is to have babies right from the second that she gets her period, then it makes no sense that society criticizes any teenage mom out there. Moreover, just because you don't want to have children until you are 30, 40 or 50, that doesn't make adolescent mothers any less righteous than you are. It's okay if you want to have time to finish your PhD and get work experience, but it doesn't mean that in order to be happy, other people need to share your ambitions, timelines, and milestones. It's 2021. Nowadays you can take any course online. So if you dream of studying, doing an internship, and afterwards landing a six-figure contract with a top consultancy firm, I guarantee that being a teenage mother won't stop you, as long as you have the motivation and patience needed to chase those dreams. Also, you can be a wonderful mother, regardless of your age. There are many examples of highly successful people who are the result of teenage pregnancies. So to begin, I want to ask this question. If women are biologically programmed to have as many babies as possible, as early as possible, then why is it such a drama and a scandal when the minor gets a bun in the oven? After all, remember, this has been the norm for thousands of years. Since the beginning of mankind, women have been having babies as early as possible and for as long as possible. The thing is that there are two issues with this approach. The first one is that, according to scientists, adolescence now lasts from the ages of 10 to 24 because they discover that the rational part of a teen's brain isn't fully developed and won't be until age 25 or so. Hence, this leads people to argue that a teenager is not rational enough to be a mother, so she shouldn't become one in the first place. But bear in mind that over the course of any calendar year, millions of women across the world die before reaching their 25th birthday. So that is why, from a survival of the human race perspective, the female reproductive system cannot wait until the brain is 100% developed. The next issue is that society intensively pushes teenagers and young adults to go to university. Don't get me wrong, it's absolutely fine to seek higher education. I did it myself and I'm very happy with it. However, it seems like nowadays it is perceived by the community that if you don't do that, then you are a loser. Millions of kids are pressured to follow an academic path beyond school, even if they don't want to do that. And they just do it because they feel like everyone and everything is pushing them in that direction. I can speak for myself. When I applied to university back in 2007, I was more brainwashed than the Trump supporters who don't accept the overwhelming evidence that he lost the election. Growing up in Portugal, when talking about life beyond school, I did not know a single person wanting to start either a business or a family. In fact, in Portugal, there were only 4 circumstances where you would not go to university. You either had to have very bad grades, be very poor, be very pregnant, or be very much all of the above. Hence, just like with everyone around me, I grew up thinking that it was unthinkable not to get at least a bachelor's degree. And that's why once I got into university, the conversation naturally turned to what to study next for the master's diploma. So I noticed there's an unwritten rule saying that the longer you study, the better it is for your career. And this makes sense and it's obvious. I mean, having more education is always better than having less education, just like having a PhD is better than not having a PhD. And this clarifies why after earning a bachelor's degree, millions of young graduates are just getting started with their higher education. Next will come the master's diploma, and then maybe even a long-lasting quest to attain a PhD. So the strange thing about being an adult today is that despite attaining a master's degree or even a PhD, it feels like you are still halfway into adulthood, and this only delays your parenthood. And this becomes even stranger when considering that by this point in time, you have actually been biologically ready for being a parent for well over 10 years. And the reason I say you are only at half time when you are done with education is because after spending all these years studying, there are still a few milestones between where you are now and the moment when you are ready to have children. First, after graduation, you are gonna want to go on a sabbatical year and travel around the world, because you know this is the last chance you'll have to do this. Step 2, you have to face the necessary evil of doing a year-long internship. Third, after this internship, you will start a 24-month-long graduate program, which takes place in 3 different countries. Fourth and final step, already in your late 20s, if not early 30s, you are offered a permanent job contract, and only now can you start thinking about to have kids. The issue is that many women out there, when they reach this stage, there's no more thinking to be thought. They already decided that if their graduate program was so demanding and they had to work 60 or even more hours a week every week, so now that they are in a position of even higher responsibility, then how the hell are they gonna find the time to be mothers? Now, you may think that I'm being negative, but I've heard this conversation before. I've met women in their early 30s who said, well, it's too late, you know, my partner is already 40, or he's a workaholic and so am I, so we are not gonna have children. And you know, this is sad, you know, it is sad. And it makes me think that in a way maybe they know what's coming. Maybe they work in highly competitive international companies who will eventually ask them to move to one of their subsidiaries for a few years to gain experience there and help develop this team or that department in that country abroad. This yet again postpones the already suspended plan of having a baby. And that's why many women don't even consider having a child after they turn 30. Now, it is legitimate for anyone to dream of earning a diploma and making a career in the corporate world. As I said, that's what I did, and there's nothing wrong with that. But who said this specific route must be the norm of society? If a teenage girl says her dream is to get pregnant 20 times and to be a lifelong stay-at-home mom, then we should not be making a big deal out of it. We should not even be making a deal at all. No one said the road to happiness involves pursuing a highly ambitious 6-digit salary. And if your life goal is to spend every day exchanging endless love with your babies, then go ahead. You're not doing anything wrong. And if anything, that's the way it should be, because the biological role of the woman is to be a mother. Now, I don't want anyone to misunderstand me, because I am not defending that all women should have children, nor am I saying that women belong in the house as stay-at-home moms. Yet, I am saying that if women are made for giving birth, then it makes zero sense for society to criticize young girls for having children, even if they are teenagers. Because as mammals, this is what they are meant to do. The average girl will get her first period around 12 years of age, which is basically nature saying, as of right now, you are ready to go. But don't get me wrong here either. If you don't want to, you don't have to get pregnant as early as that. But if you do want that, then you are simply doing something which is, and always has been, completely normal according to your body and to the history of mankind. Around the globe, millions of teenagers are pregnant right now, but this is mostly in developing nations. So potentially, this explains why, even though thousands of adolescents become pregnant each day, it is still a lot easier said than done when it comes to accepting such cases in the developed world. Still, even if your teenage daughter gets pregnant, what is the big drama anyway? What about school? Well, last time I checked, there are zero reports of school buildings going missing or magically flying away. School isn't going anywhere, so the teenage mom can always go back and finish her studies. And moreover, around the planet there are thousands of mothers enrolled in university, even if only online. Additionally, many moms are finishing their internships and being offered permanent contracts. And on top of all this, there are plenty of mothers out there who work their way to a 6-digit salary. Now, I know that these dreams are tough to achieve with children, but they are still 100% achievable. They are just going to need extra patience and fighting spirit. So, never think that just because you are a teenage mom, that there are society rules preventing you from fighting for your dreams. And the same applies to other ambitions you may have, such as opening your bakery or starting your own YouTube channel. If that is what you want, then that is okay. You will never be less than anyone else because you chose that path. If anything, most of those 6-digit salary women secretly envy you to death, as they wish they could have as much quality time with their own children as you do. As a final note, I will say that teenage mothers can be wonderful parents and raise children which will become extraordinary adults. As a few examples, I'll start by mentioning Nobel Peace Prize winner and 2-term United States President Barack Obama. The former USA Commander-in-Chief came into this world while his mother was still 18 years of age. Also, we have music superstar Selena Gomez, whose mom became a mom aged just 16. And there's another person I want to mention who is also the birthday present for his mother's sweet 16. He's one of the best, if not the best, basketball player in history. The one and only Mr. Swish himself, LeBron James. So my summary is, don't care what people think. Your happiness belongs to you and to no one else. If you're happy being a teenage mother, then that is all that matters. Second, according to human biology, being pregnant as a teenager is the most normal thing ever in the history of mankind. So, if you know someone out there in that situation, be open-minded, be supportive, and be loving. Number 3, your ambitions can wait a little while. You have your whole life ahead of you. You have literally decades left. So you have plenty of time to invest in your career, follow your hobbies, and fulfill your ambitions. There is no need to rush. And last, remember, being a good mother is not about age. It's about the love you give to your child. And this is everything from me today. I just want to say a warm thank you to everyone out there watching this video, because making this content is my passion. It's something I love, hence I'm grateful and humbled that you chose to be here with me. and being part of what makes me happy. Before you go, I just want to say that it would mean a lot to me if you would please like and share this video, as well as subscribe to my channel. I make a new video every Saturday, so make sure to check them all out. Thank you very much, and namaste.